Welcome back. In today's screencast, we're going to go over the folder structure. So first of all, I'm going to navigate to resources, views, and then index.blade.php. And I chose this file because it's actually the starting point of every Laravel Angular material project. So if you notice, we're loading the styles, and then we're also loading the scripts. So we have the vendor, we have the app, and we have the partials. And this is something that I'm going to mention in a few. You also have the UI view directive, which is from the UI router package. So if you want to see this, we have the header, the main, and the footer. So let's close this file and open Angular routes.js. This is where we define the routes or the states for our application. Out of the box, you have one app state that is abstract, which means you cannot navigate to the app state, but you can rather extend it. So we have app.landing. So for example, in the landing state, we're only overriding the main template, whereas the header is always the same and the footer is always the same. If you want, you can override the header again. So for example, you can say header at. The at is necessary to override it. And I can specify a different template, say header underscore white. And now you have the routes.php. So this is the usual route that you're used to, but you're only using it to serve the application. Serving the application technically means only serving the view index, which is index.blade.php, where we've been before. And this is $API. This is where Dingo API comes in. So you can navigate to github.com/dingo/API. They have their own documentation. So Dingo API have their own documentation. You can see it at their wiki page. So in this example, the first group is actually accessible to anyone. So anyone can call the user/login, whereas everything grouped by the middleware API.auth requires JSON Web Token authentication. And Dingo API is configured out of the box to work with JWT auth. More on this in another screencast. So now for the folder structure, everything is almost the same, except for the Angular folder, which is new. And I'm not going to go through the details of these folders right now. I'm going to make a dedicated screencast for this. And you just have the routes.js and the main.js. Main.js is the file responsible for bootstrapping your app, your Angular app. And you have another tasks folder, which was introduced to make some of the gulp tasks that we're using, but you probably don't need to worry about this. And finally, we're going to quickly go through the gulp file since I've mentioned the partials before. So we're running our task, we're running Angular. Angular task is responsible for annotation using ng-annotate and linting your file using ESLint. And this is where the partials are being saved. So every time you create a new template, it's actually saved here in the partials. It's injected into $template cache. And if you're running into production, if you run gulp -- production, you can get this minified. So this makes it faster to load partials or templates, as you don't have to go and use XHR. And the rest is just pretty explanatory. And this is the live reload with live CSS. Live CSS means you don't have to reload the whole page whenever you make any change to the CSS. I hope you enjoyed this screencast and see you soon. Salam alaikum.